Good morning, YouTube. This is Tinka. I'm going to be going out in a few minutes, so I am just going to real quickly show you my hair. I'm at 87 days locked. I just got this new bonnet. It's huge. I think I'm going to grow into it. Here's what my hair is looking like at 87 days. You can't see it, but there's a tiny bit of dandruff shaking out of it, but nothing that concerns me. I don't have any kind of buildup at all. Any changes? It looks like it's gotten shorter, but some days it looks longer also. It's still relatively springy. Eventually that won't happen. Some of the ones in the back locked up a lot sooner. I'm trying to show you this one. And so it's really fat, and I forgot the fact that having the amount of locks that I have, they're going to be fairly thick, which is what I wanted, just really thick, disrespectful locks. And this whole section here on my head is really frizzy all the time. I just keep wrapping it around you. Sometimes you can see the hairs in between them, but this section is my looser texture of hair. I have washed it several times since the last video because I didn't have any fear of any unraveling at the root because I plaited it at the root. So that part I wasn't concerned with, so I could just wash it, and water's the best thing for it. So I do feel like that gave me kind of like a head start where I could just wash it at my leisure. There is some budding on a few of them. See how this one's slightly fatter right in here? And this is one that I did over because a lot of them I went through. If they were really big in this front area, I made them smaller only because of styling options. The back, I pretty much kept them their regular size. So I still think now I'm in the 70s as far as how many locks that I have. Some of them still spring out, but not as far. The texture feels a little bit drier. It's not visible on the camera, but there is a lot of loose hairs just kind of coating down these twists, and the twists no longer look like twists. They're really kind of like bunching up within this little matrix of hair that is coming over it with the new growth of hair. As far as retwisting goes, I think I retwisted it one time after washing it when I had noticed the maximum amount of growth that I have in my scalp from where the braid started to the scalp. But I haven't retwisted again. And the ones that I did twist at that time, like half of them untwisted. So I'm really kind of torn whether or not I'm going to be doing a lot of retwisting at all because it really didn't last that long. Like when the hair felt like it untwisted, it unraveled. So, but I'll show you what I used to twist with. This is it might come up backwards on my camera, but it's the Lock It Up by Talia Wajid. At my beauty supply house, it was $6.99. I used very little of it. The texture looks like this. It's not a real wet gel. It's more like a thicker, somewhere in between gel and like Let's Jam. But like I said, I only did that like maybe once. But what I do is spray my rose water on it every day. I got this particular one at Walmart. This one is 100% rose water. And there's no glycerin or any things in it. The ingredient says organic rose water, Rosa Damascus, 100% pure and natural. That's it. So it's a hydrosol of rose. They didn't add rose essential oil to water, any glycerin or anything like that. This is a little pricey. I think this cost me about $13 at Walmart. But it's very strong. It has a very strong geranium smell. If you don't know what geranium roses smell like, it really smells a lot like that. But I do recommend this because it's one of the few that didn't have glycerin in it. You'll see a lot of these rosewater face tonics, but most of them have glycerin in it. And I didn't want to necessarily be forced to put glycerin on my hair. So, but when it got halfway down, I filled it back up with some boiled water from out of my teapot, and it's just as good as maybe my preference now. It was a little strong before. Besides that, my continuous spray bottle, these are pretty much, or 360 bottle, you can find these at Sally's Beauty Supply, Amazon, and Walmart. I highly recommend this because sometimes I drench my whole head to make it feel moisturized. And then I've also, after washes, been putting this leave-in conditioner, and I've been staying away from the cream conditioners because of the concern of buildup. The shampoo that I use, like I said, I've shampooed, I don't know how many times, probably like 6-7 times. I use this Alafia Coconut Reishi shampoo with henna for hydrated, strong hair, ethical care, and all of that. It looks like this. And I got this at Sprouts. I think it's probably about $8, $9, something like that. And from Trader Joe's, I use the hair mask, but very sparingly and generally just on my ends. I've noticed my ends have gotten super, super, super dry. I don't want them dry because I'm thinking about once my hair gets more locked that I was just going to try to maintain my curly ends. I'm not even messing with them now, but you can pick them out so that they're kind of stay curly on the ends, and I think that's like the natural goddess look. I'm really looking forward to trying it. It may not work out. And I have another shampoo that I'm thinking about using in case I have any buildup, but I don't see where I would have any buildup right now. The rose water probably was my most expensive product so far, and I don't see why, if you were on a budget, that you couldn't use some other kind of water. There's other waters. There's just a ton of other waters, but they're kind of obscure and hard to find. Or you could just use regular water and add a little bit of essential water to it. I would probably use the best water. I wouldn't use my tap water. And spray it with that. So that's how they're looking. You can see like from the root to like right here is just like a lot of fuzzy, and that's just how the locks are building. My grays are showing up really nice. Right here is where I split and made two. So from last video, I think this was one, and I split it into two, and it's thriving. I thought if I only put one here, it'd be less tension on this temple side where I tend to have a little bit of thinning sometimes, but I think it's safer to go with the two sections because when I tried to twist that big hunking section, I could feel like a lot of tension trying to get it, you know, to bunch up. And I think I may have made like one more like somewhere around here because these feel smaller too. And also on this side at the temple, I did the same thing, you know. And like I said, because I braid at the root, twist it, and some people even then braid again at the end, but my hair, that's not necessary for my hair. I wish I could better show you the back so that you can see how much more shrunken it is from the front. And I had mid-back hair, a little bit longer than mid-back when I started, so I'm going to spin around and let you see that. I'll try anyway. Okay, so that's it. Someone is knocking at my door. So rude. I don't know who it could be. Probably the nurse or my grandfather. I'm being funny. But I'm loving it so far. Best thing I ever did. You know, I do yoga a couple of days a week and go out to the gym or walk or something like that. So I have been doing more things with, you know, sweating. So my scalp sweats, the rest of my body not so much. So I'm going to end this here. This is 87 days of my lock journey with 2 strand twists.